When you think of God, or when you talk about God, do you use the term He? Do you hear people talk about He? Do you hear people talk about the Father or Lord? So much of this is unconscious and automatic. It's crazy when you think about it, because like it or not, that's going to have some ramifications in your mind, body, spirit. If you're a woman, because that's not you. Like, you're not a he. We have to give some thought and connect to our source, our personal relationship with that source of who made us. What gives you life? What is your connection with that? Your own personal, private, unique connection. That's where we will get our answers, not in these books. In today's busy world, how can we find the inspiration, knowledge, and energy to live a healthy and empowered life? If we balance and harmonize our mind, exercise our body, live according to the laws of nature, and connect to spirit, can we find a way to heal, become our authentic self, and live our purpose with love? I am your hostess, Amy Fournier, and welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite. Are you ready to live a more free, healthy, and abundant life? How about just growing some of your own food so you feel like you have a little more control and power over your destiny? We all know the crazy prices going on at the supermarket. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm getting less food. I have less bags in my car when I drive home, and I'm spending literally a third more. Not to mention, the quality of our food is just completely garbage. So I don't know about you, but more than ever, I feel an urgency to be able to understand how to grow my own food, maybe at least a little bit. Now, look, I don't have a green thumb at all, but I'm going to be doing a deep dive in the next year on having a little bit of a home garden. I've learned you don't need a lot of space, you don't need a lot of skill, but you can do it. And guess what? I've got a great resource that will help you do that. My friends at Food Forest Abundance, they will help you create, no matter what your situation is. Maybe you just have a little quarter of an acre, a little plot of grass or some trees that gets a little bit of sun exposure. They can look at your property, and they can do this all remotely through Google satellites and all this stuff. It's just amazing what technology can do. And they can help advise you as to your unique ecosystem, what your soil is like, what grows best in your climate, how to have stuff all year round through the different seasons, what plants to grow, what things will thrive, what will not thrive. It's an amazing resource, and they fast track the process. So Food Forest Abundance, it's on my website, eStore. If you want to take it to the next level, maybe you want to consider hiring one of their designers to help take a look at your situation and advise you and hold your hand through the whole thing. This is what you can do. Make sure you use my coupon code FITAMYTV at checkout. You can save 5%. They can really help you out. And if you want to learn more about this whole thing with permaculture and food forest and liberating your lawn and getting more empowered and secure in your life with stuff that really matters, check out episode 84 with the one and only Jim Gale. And that was a fantastic episode. I promise you're going to learn a lot. So let me know what you think. Enjoy. Hey everybody, did you know that I have an e-store? That's right. I have put together a collection of some of my absolute favorite everyday products. My core harmonizer, where I set up my home environment to have music that's calming, beautiful, peaceful, harmonizing energy. And of course, my red light therapy with my photon bulb lamps from Sauna Space. I use particularly at night because it basically is the same thing as firelight and it doesn't disrupt your sleep patterns. And my skincare, like with Sebum Solus and Faro Skincare, whether you want plant-based or animal-based, all these products are natural and they work. They work really great. I have great skin, and I'm happy to say probably a combination of my diet, my red light therapy, and my really good products, plus a lot of water. I have a great water filter that I use in my own home every single day. It's not very expensive, but it works really really well, and I recommend it to all my family and friends. So you can find all of these products and more on my website, amyfournier.com. Just go to the tab e-store there, go to the recommended products, and scroll down and have fun shopping. Use my coupon codes, save some money, and you know what else? It's a great way to support me because I make a small commission by bringing them to you, and we support these great companies and have integrity and are producing beautiful things in the world. All right, let's get back to the show. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. The show is about helping you to be healthy and fit in mind, body, and spirit, as well as harmonize your masculine and feminine energy, tap into your intuition, your true source of power, and awaken your authentic self. Today, I'm going to share with you from the book of the Woman's Dictionary of Symbols and Sacred Objects by the one and only Barbara Walker. So much great stuff in this book. And we're going to talk about goddesses today. You know, this is a very common term that you're probably hearing a lot. It's certainly in my circles. And this whole term of goddess rising, which happens to be the name of my new online course coming out in 2024. And, you know, there's a lot of misconception about things. And we've talked before about how, you know, the feminine is often thought of as like, you know, rainbows and butterflies and all like, you know, a girl running in the field in a dress type stuff. And yeah, it's that. But it's a whole lot more than that. And I know you know that. So I just wanted to share with you the thoughts from the amazing Barbara Walker, who is a researcher and an author of numerous books, and also including the Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets, which is another great book by her. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, you might want to check out Barbara Walker. Okay, so she talks about the goddess. Recent research has established the primacy of the goddess figure in human thought as a direct outgrowth of the primary of the mother and in every individual experience, and also because biological fatherhood was an unknown until fairly late in the development of civilizations. So basically, the matriarchal line would hold the name of the child, because obviously people knew whose child was whose because the woman was pregnant for 9 months and, you know, came out of her body. So it was pretty clear that that kid is hers. But back in the old days, they didn't know who was the father per se, because they didn't really even have marriages and exclusive relationships, let's just say. So it was like, who could the father be? So the matriarchal line was always kind of like the family line, and actually the name of the child was through the mother's line. You got to remember, this is hundreds, if not thousands of years ago often. So it was a very, very different time than where we're in now, which just blows my mind because we're kind of unconscious about the patriarchy cocoon that we're in. We don't even realize it hasn't always been this way, and how that affects our everyday thought and our whole mental paradigm and how we operate and how we think. We don't even really realize it. But if you take one thing away from the show today, I just want you to keep in mind it hasn't always been that way. It has not always been that way. The goddess, the feminine, the divine feminine energy and force was extremely real and important, and it was an equal to that very also powerful and important masculine force. It's the hieros gymos. It's the union of the two that is the powerful creation. And that's what this show is about. It's hoping to help us bring up that feminine essence in all of us that has been kind of squashed down. At least it was in me, you know? All right. So though male scholars seem to use the term gods for the supreme creative deities of prehistory and myth, it's been shown that the creative power in all the oldest traditions was female. Egyptians said the primeval sea womb was the goddess Nun, or Nanut, who gave birth to the sun and all the gods. In Sumeria, she was Nanumi, who created the sky and the earth. In Babylon, she was Tasmat, the deep, who gave birth to all the deities, including the municipal god Marduk, who later became her matriarchal killer. In Greece, she was the primal goddess Gaia, who gave birth, without benefit of a consort, to the sky, Uranus. Now, listen to this part, because if you have Christian background and all that, like I do, it's been amazing to me to learn of how so many of the Christian traditions and practices and symbology and all that wasn't originally Christian. Like, they kind of took it from other cultures and other religions. Like, they weren't the first one to think of things like Easter, for example, and all these different things, and the wine and the chalice and all that. That was all kind of taken from other existing cultures. And this is another one that might sound familiar to you. Assyria told of the wise goddess Mami, who made human beings out of the clay that was part of her womb, emanating them with her blood, as women's uterine blood was supposed to create and animate their own children. So there's talk of this being, that's the whole idea of Adam. You know, the word Adam, Adam and Eve in the Bible, Adam meaning clay or of the earth. And because you've probably heard different episodes on Awakening Aphrodite talk about how menstrual blood was always sacred. It was absolutely revered and worshiped and used in sacred rituals and practices. So this myth here is talking about how women in the day would actually use the sacred blood from the womb and made human beings out of clay. And that whole thing led to the Christian myth of Adam and Eve, which is crazy. So the old gods of the late Sumerian tradition were without exception goddess Anutum, Natil, Dankia, Ashtar, and Baba, the sacred queens of the 5 ancient cities. Their spouses were all of lower rank. Avalon remarks that in the beginning, the goddesses everywhere antedated or at least were predominant over the god. It has been affirmed that in all the countries from the Euphrates to the Adriatic, the chief divinity was at first in woman form. With the advent of patriarchal societies, many of the names and symbols of the great goddesses were suppressed and finally forgotten. The new father gods usurped her world-creating functions, her attributes, even the very words and phrases of her ancient scriptures. The Bible contains many plagiarized excerpts from earlier hymns and prayers to Ashtar and the other goddess figures, with the name of Yahweh substituted for that of the female deity. This is what I was talking about earlier. In biblical Hebrew, the word for goddess does not even exist. As God has been made by men's words, so the goddess has been unmade by them. It's like in all these scriptures and stuff, they just left them out. They just completely omitted. I mean, for example, you probably know there's actual books of the Bible that are they just got destroyed. They got intentionally disappeared. Like Mary Magdalene had a whole book gone. They just destroyed it. I mean, so people don't even realize that all this was very real and part of these cultures. And they just eliminated it. And, you might have your own thoughts as to why that might be, but it's got to make you think. Why would they do that? The process still goes on. Webster's Third New International Dictionary defines capital G, God, in a great variety of ways, in which it seems the editors can't say enough in his favor. Definitions include the holy, the infinite, the eternal spiritual, reality presented in the Bible as the creator, sustainer, judge, righteous, sovereign, and redeemer of the universe, who acts with power in history in carrying out his purpose, the eternal, invisible, arbitrarily or omnipotent Lord of the worlds and final judge of all men, the unchangeably perfect being that is the first and final cause of the universe, the supreme or ultimate reality, the being supreme in power, wisdom, and goodness that men worship and to whom they pray. And as an ultimate offense, Webster further defines God as, quote, the one ultimate infinite reality that is pure existence, consciousness, and bliss, unquote. A phrase lifted directly from the Yoganandra Tantra, where it was a description of the goddess. Mic drop. Okay? I mean, what do you even say to that? It was actually directly lifted from the Tantra description of the goddess. That's just incredible. She who is the radiant illuminatrix in all beings. That's what it was referred to. By contrast with these sayings, small g goddess is defined briefly as a divinity of the female sex, then also as, quote, a woman who is the object of adoration, something personified as a woman that is honored as a goddess, unquote. Only 3 citations are given, all of them belittling and one even grossly erroneous. Here they are. Number 1, quote, like the lover whose imagination makes a goddess of some commonplace young woman. Number 2, that characteristic middle-class goddess, the English common law, unquote. And 3, quote, the Hindu Asins used hashish as devotees of the goddess Thungi, unquote. No goddess was ever named Thungi. The Hindu Thungi cultists worshiped the goddess Kali. Moreover, the Hashishim, from whom the word Asins came, were not Hindus, but Sectarians. So the reference is wrong, as well as an obvious attempt to emphasize only evil connotations of goddess worship. Wow. Today, a few well-meaning reformers sporadically try to restore a semi-female component to the basic idea of God, which has been so immovably masculine throughout the distressing period of his acting, quote, with power in history, unquote, as the dictionary puts it. Some try to call him God the Mother or present him as either bisexual or sexless. Every symbol for what Western civilization now calls God has been so heavily weighted with masculinity, however, that no such equivocations can make a difference. Nell Morgan suggests that even retention of the word God can only serve, quote, to keep women short-sighted and the goddess suppressed, unquote. Whatever else deities may be, they are certainly symbols par excellence, and what they symbolize is the idealized human being. Men stole women's greatest symbol and left them spiritually impoverished, while they went on to inflate their own male deity to positively blimpish dimensions. It may take more than words to redress that wrong. So I'll just close by saying, when you think of God or the divine deity or the creator or the one or the source or, whatever word you want to put with it. Or when you talk about God, do you use the term he? Do you hear people talk about he? Do you hear people talk about the Father or Lord? I mean, so much of this is unconscious and automatic. It's crazy when you think about it because, like it or not, that's going to have some conscious ramifications in your mind, body, spirit. If you're a woman, because that's not you. Like, you're not a he, right? You're a she. So, you've heard me say in the show before, second created, first to sin. I mean, that's what the Catholics say about the women. That's what Christianity says about women. I mean, I'm not bashing Catholics. I was raised one, but it's a fact. I mean, everybody knows about Catholic guilt and the whole thing about having our periods and menstrual blood as the curse for the downfall of humanity. That's what actually God said. Men will toil and work for food and life, and women will have the curse of the monthly bleed and the pain of childbirth because that was punishment. So anyway, it's just something to think about because you've heard me say on the show a lot, we have to be aware of where our beliefs, where our thoughts, where our whole paradigm of how we live and view the world and our place in it comes from. We have to give some thought and connect to our source, our personal relationship with that source of who made us. Why are we even alive? What gives you life? Well, how are you different than a corpse? How does your body heal itself? What is this magical intelligence that's there? And if you've ever cried at the beauty of a sunset or the joy of the laughter of a child or something that touches you deeply, you felt it, that source, that special spark that is life itself. And what is your connection with that? Your own personal, private, unique connection. That's what we've got to cultivate. That's where we will get our answers, not in these books and all these things that we've been told, because I just hope that this show opens up your mind again to that it hasn't always been that way, that there were other beliefs and other concepts, and there might be more than what we're aware of. Just some food for thought for you, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's show. I'd love to know what you think about it. And if you want to check out all my favorite products and support me, the best way to do so is to check out my website e-store, where I have a lot of my favorite personal products and coupon codes for you. It's a triple win. You win, I win, they win. Love it. So thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time on Awakening Aphrodite. Would you like to support my mission to help empower people all over the world to be all of who they truly are? If so, please subscribe to the show, leave a review on iTunes, and share it with a friend. And if you're looking to take immediate action to align your energy and optimize your health, visit amyfournier.com. Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite. Let's awaken her together in you. I'm your hostess, Amy Fournier, and I already can't wait to be with you again and for you to hear what I have planned for the next show.
Thanks for listening to Awakening Aphrodite with Amy Fournier. To learn more about Amy, check out her website, amyfournier.com. That's amyfournier.com. You can also check out Amy's live and on-demand virtual fitness and yoga classes, and sign up for her newsletter to receive a free mini ebook of 3 of her top tips for making holistic health a lifestyle. Again, that's amyfournier.com, and get your ebook sent to your email immediately. Connect with Amy on the daily on Instagram at FitAmyTV, FITAMYTV, and watch many of the podcast episodes and subtopic clips on her YouTube channel, which is also FitAmyTV. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time on Awakening Aphrodite.